Sudan is the most difficult and complicated country I have ever been to. I managed to see Sudan a month before the disaster, another civil war that is still ongoing. I traveled the entire country from north to south and miraculously managed to fly out of the capital. And in this video, I'll show you how common people live there just 1 month before the civil war. Sudan is a very unusual country for tourism, and adventures begin at the border.
Now we are going to cross the border with Sudan. You can do that from Egypt by bus. And look at the buses here. They look like normal standard buses from outside, but not from inside. Because if you get inside, you will see almost no passengers.
The same can be seen in the cafe at the bus station. There are no tourists here, only drivers and workers. The coffee and tea are poured for sleepy drivers.
And these buses are fully stocked with different sorts of goods and products, which they deliver from Egypt to Sudan. It's time to set off for Sudan. So guys, for you to understand, this is the end of the platform, and this is our bar, and this is our bus. Safety comes first.
The ferry looks unsafe and overloaded. It would be scary to sink here, because there are crocodiles in this part of the Nile.
As you can see, they pack a lot of different chips, and I guess these are scooters for kids. We are on a barge with many buses and minivans stacked with different kinds of goods and products. But it seems very weird because it feels that we are smuggling all these products from Egypt to Sudan.
In fact, this is smuggling indeed. The point is that the border controls of Sudan and Egypt allow it. A long time ago, Western countries imposed strict trade sanctions on Sudan, and it was impossible to legally import goods here by other means of transportation. The sanctions were lifted several years ago, but many goods are still smuggled from Egypt by bus.
But in normal countries, goods are delivered by containers or by trucks, but not by buses. Not like that. And in the moment it feels that we're gonna hit the rock with this barge. Is it scary? Okay, I'm gonna go there.
The views from the platform are very beautiful.
Oh my god, look at it! There are so many buses on the other side.
These buses are waiting in line for the ferry back to Egypt. And they are not bringing tourists, but some Sudanese goods and cows. And this is what typical smugglers look like. In fact, they are ordinary Sudanese people trying to feed their family. Some smugglers are women. We are finally entering Sudan. Here is the first Sudanese city after we cross the border. Even its center looks like a large warehouse.
If you ask how does the city center here in Wadi Halfa in Sudan looks like, this is how. As you can see, enormous skyscrapers everywhere. What else? This is the state-of-the-art offices. On the other hand, other very modern offices. Yeah.
The city looks like a desert with scattered houses. It's hard even to call it a city, more like a village. Shops look like warehouses.
You see those sweets?
This is sweet.
And that one, and that one. We saw all of these sweets and products today on the minivans and inside buses that were coming from
when you
Egypt
come
to
from
here.
Egypt.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All the stuff was coming with us. And now we are buying it here.
Camel, cows, not sheep, sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah, sugar. Soap. The some of soap, and some clothes, cotton. What we said from Karkade.
Karkade. How much for the chocolate? How much?
700.
700. It's $1.50. Oh, okay.
But here the chocolate is much more expensive. In Egypt, this chocolate costs less than $1. High prices and smuggling of products are a consequence of the Western sanctions. In short, the former ruler of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir, supported various Islamist groups in 1990s, and some well-known terrorists hit in the country. In 1993, Washington placed Sudan on the list of states that sponsor terrorism and imposed tough sanctions on the country, including a trade embargo. In 2020, sanctions were lifted, but many goods are still imported here as contraband.
Just imagine, you can just say that a bus full of different staples and food is a luggage. That is so unusual. For the Sudanese, it's a good source of income because for one bus delivery, they can invest $4,000 and get the net profit of $1,000, which is very good.
But for most Sudanese, goods become too expensive.
Now we are in a local shop in Sudan, and here is a stand with milk and dairy products. So, this is a milk package with a liter, which costs $1. So 1 liter costs $2, which is a lot.
Near the border, we saw many trucks loaded with Sudanese cows that were being transported to Egypt. Therefore, it's strange that milk in Sudan is so expensive.
As you can see, there is a wide choice of milk powder of different brands. That is because many people in Sudan don't have refrigerators at home and they prefer milk powder to liquid milk. Since this pack of Oreo cookies was produced in Egypt and brought to Sudan by bus, I guess, and this pack costs $4, which is also a lot in my opinion. 10 eggs costs almost $2. Yeah, these are the prices in Sudan.
Let's check out the prices on the market.
So 1,200 is approximately $2 per kilo of oranges. Of this small or bigger. And usually they don't sell by kilos but by pieces because the prices here are so high and people cannot just afford to buy fruits by kilos and they usually buy by pieces. One piece. So this 500. One manga costs almost $1. And also they sell it not by kilos but by pieces.
Of course, to people in the US or Europe, the prices may seem fair.
But But salaries in Sudan are not like in Europe or the USA. Many people with whom I talked receive less than $200 per month, and they cannot afford to buy basic products in local shops, not to mention international brands.
For example, food prices in neighboring Egypt and Turkey are much lower. In Sudan, people survive on their relatives who work in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or the United Arab Emirates. Almost every family has someone working abroad, and their transfers are the main source of income for Sudanese families. Otherwise, they simply wouldn't be able to survive with such prices. Speaking of Wadi Halfa,
well, to tell you the truth, there is not much to do and see here, but Egypt. Wadi Halfa will be the first stop for you, and here you can exchange some currency, buy a SIM card, and just have a rest after you're crossing border from Egypt, because it will be very exhausting for you.
I guess. I'm not sure, but I guess it should be higher, much more higher.
Much more higher.
it turned out that best of all is to change currency at a bank. Street exchange rates were much worse.
This is $300. Yeah, and I spent about 20 minutes to recount all of this money, to check.
So prepare a bag for Sudanese money. Moreover, I must warn you that international payment system don't work here, and you won't be able to pay with your bank card or withdraw money from it. So bring new cash dollars. But don't change too much. It will be difficult to change Sudanese money back to dollars. As we found out, banks don't provide dollars to foreigners.
And is it possible to, if you buy too many Sudanese pounds, is it possible to exchange from Sudanese pounds into dollars or euros? No? For instance, $100 or $200, no? But we are foreigners, we're not Sudanese.
Even though Wadi Halfa may seem boring, we were lucky enough to see a real traditional Sudanese wedding here. We arrived at the wedding at the most unsuitable moment, when they were slaughtering a bull. Since I didn't want to watch it, the children took me into the house. The house was full of women. As it turned out, women traditionally gather separately and prepare a side dish for the meat. Everyone was peeling and cutting potatoes and other vegetables. The men laid carpets on the street and was sitting and talking while the meat was being cut nearby.
This is the bride. This is how she looks like in a very bright dressing. Very beautiful. There are so many people here. It seems that the whole village is coming.
Later a party began and the ladies started dancing. Look how elegant and beautiful everyone is. Of course, they invited me to dance as well. After the party, we were returning to the hotel by local transport.
So guys, this is the local tuk-tuk. Yeah, this is how it looks like. And that is how many locals travel here from place to place. And us as well.
When we were passing the bus station, we saw an unusual picture.
When you visit the bus station in Wadi Halfa in the evening, you can see that a lot of people sleep they just put some blanket and cover themselves with another blanket and they sleep there.
Nothing is more annoying in Sudan than the so-called Sudanese time.
So we should have started at 7 a.m. but because Sudan lives according to the Sudanese time, it's 7:20 and we are still waiting. As you see, they're still loading baggage on the top of the minivan, and hopefully maybe in 10 minutes we will go.
And while you wait, you can drink coffee in a local cafe. Or watch how the locals drop their bags right in the dust. Bus departure is not so simple either.
So it's almost 8 a.m. and we are not going yet. We still haven't started. Sudanese time, take that into account too. It's 8 a.m. and now we are starting. After waiting for 1 hour at the bus station, the first thing that I've noticed is that there is no medicine kit and there is no fire extinguisher. But there are carpets for praying because Sudan is a very religious country and they put these carpets everywhere so that people can pray anytime, anywhere.
Pay attention to how the Sudanese decorate the interior of their buses.
In which other countries you will see anything like this? Our minivan is full. The thing is that drivers in Sudan wait until their buses are full and only then they start their trip. And there is no clear schedule for bus departures. You may wait 1 hour, 2 hours or even more. It depends how lucky you are. And we also noticed that the roads in Sudan are almost empty. You may drive maybe for 20 minutes or half an hour and not see any other car. So suddenly we stopped in the middle of the desert and some guy just went out to pee. Because there are no any bus stops on the way and it's very difficult to find a toilet on the road, so that's how it is here.
We were driving south to see how the Nubians live in the village of Abri. This is a small Nubian village with cute mud houses.
Houses in Abri are made of mud and bricks. They are very simple, but for locals it's okay because the weather is very hot here and there is almost no rain.
People in Abri use the same material for house construction. But of course everyone wants to stand out and differ from their neighbors. Those who are richer fully paint their houses, but that is expensive. So the locals found another way to be different.
Most people here just make their doors and window shutters very colorful. So they paint them with very bright colors and use these interesting patterns. Yeah. And I will show you more houses and maybe someone will even invite us.
Here is what a house in a Nubian village looks like. As you can see, there is very little furniture, mostly beds, which are even in the yard, and a barrel of drinking water, which is an integral feature of a Sudanese house.
In Sudan, you will find everywhere these kind of barrels because it's very hot and people can just come, take a glass or a cup and drink from these barrels. This is kind of room an open room, like a terrace, and people, as far as I understood, sleep here because it's okay, because it's very warm and hot here even, but maybe at night it is cold, but I think they cover with blankets. They can sleep everywhere in any room, but this place is like a terrace because this is the kitchen where they cook. Yeah, and this is terrace where they eat and drink tea, and I guess they sit on these beds and eat or drink. And maybe sometimes when there are a lot of guests, they may also sleep here. Yeah, and of course, you will also see for sure a carpet for praying.
This is what the bedroom looks like. There is even a TV on the wall. And also there are many beds. I guess plenty of beds is crucial for big Sudanese families, where it's common to live with parents and have several children. The host treated us to tea.
Locals will for sure offer you some tea, and you shouldn't say no because in this case you will offend them. You should drink tea if they offer. The main source of income for Abri is farming and agriculture. And you can see behind me people preparing some grain, and it is a very hard work.
But despite the hard work, the women are in beautiful dresses. In general, Nubian villages are green oases in the middle of the desert. Fields are everywhere. The locals mainly grow red beans. These beans are used everywhere in the country for the traditional dish ful. Sudanese eat it every day.
Along the Nile, Nubians still work as in the old times, because so far we haven't seen any tractors, combiners and other modern equipment. And it seems that people here work with their hands, so it's very, very hard work for them. It seems that he made it himself.
Even toys for children are handmade.
Made it yourself. Oh, look! Really? Yeah. Well, I would say this is really very, very interesting and inventive. I guess maybe their parents made it for them. And I think you know why they play with this kind of toys, because maybe like modern toys are very expensive for the local population, or maybe there are no shops in Abri with modern toys. Yeah, and they play with handmade ones. But this is cute and very resourceful. The main food for the Sudanese people is beans, bread and tea with a lot of sugar. They have very monotonous and not various diet, and maybe this is one of the main reasons why so many people here suffer from diabetes. Sudanese people eat a lot of bread, and everywhere in the country you can see this kind of shops with packed bags with bread for a whole family. This whole 50 pounds? 500 pounds. Almost $1. A whole bag.
I don't think that a monotonous diet and an abundance of sugar is a tradition for citizens. The thing is that people cannot afford basic products for their low salaries. In some industries, for example in education, salaries are so low that you simply cannot survive.
Because a local boy showed us his school, and as you can see it is closed now because the teachers here have been protesting and not working already for 1 month. as their salaries are very low. It's like an average salary for a teacher here is $170 per month.
Due to the absence of job opportunities and low wages, people migrate from villages to cities.
As you see, there are many empty and abandoned buildings because many people from here moved to either Dongola, the capital of this region, or to Khartoum, or even abroad like Saudi Arabia. Yeah, it seems that the desert here really wins the territory.
Most of people move to Khartoum. The rest are about 300.
300
people.
As expected, all the locals in the village know one another.
Relatives.
Ah,
Yeah.
relatives.
There is no any strange here.
No strangers.
Because many people cannot find a job in the village and move to a city, they are forced to work in gold mines. While I was riding in a bus through the Nubian part of Sudan, I saw that the desert was dug up and ridden everywhere. Exactly there, in the desert, gold mining takes place. Both big official companies and small private illegal diggers operate in this region. However, working conditions are often completely unsafe.
Diggers have to make even deeper mines, which are not properly reinforced. Very often these mines just collapse and kill everyone inside.
Now they are drilling wells and they go there deep, like 20 meter, 15 meter. Sometimes the well collapse. So like there's 20 of them inside and the wall collapse. They don't do protection for the wall of the sun and they lost their life.
Moreover, workers use mercury and cyanide to extract gold. People work practically with their bare hands, without protection, and die from the vapors of these toxic substances. You can easily find local gold bars in Sudanese jewelry stores.
So they usually send it to Turkey, to Dubai, by bricks, and there jewelry is produced, like a necklace, earrings, rings, and again brought back here.
However, imported jewelry from Sudanese gold is not cheap back in Sudan. The price of jewelry is determined by the weight of gold.
For instance, this ring. No, this one. Yes. Oh, there is also a plum. And how much? This ring weighs 2.5 grams, which is almost $170. Yeah.
For sure, Sudan is an unusual country. Many things here will surprise you. They always sell something interesting on the markets and on the streets. People are dressed in uncommon clothes. Colors all around the country, as well as dirt and debris.
So guys, this is a local football field, and as you can see, children are playing without any shoes, but that's normal for them. How are you? Who is winning? Mohammed? Okay.
As soon as the boys saw us, they immediately came running and started yelling. The Sudanese are welcoming. They always give us free food.
Oh, that is so spicy. Tasty, but spicy.
People in Sudan always eat with their hands. This is their tradition. They also usually eat together from a large tray as one family. And this is interesting. However, I am not used to eating with my hands.
When we asked to bring forks, the owner answered that all the forks and spoons were left in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan. At least this is not beans, like everywhere else.
Very often you can see people praying on the street. They simply lay out their mats and pray, or even at the market.
Sudan is a very religious country. And look, this is the main road, and there is a group of people praying just almost by the road. I haven't seen anything like that anywhere.
This concludes the first part of the video about Sudan. In the next video, we'll go to the main port of the country, which is Port Sudan, get into riot-ridden Khartoum, and try to get through the blocked roads of Sudan at night. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you will not miss the second part. In the meantime, watch the videos that have already been released on my channel about traditions and life in different countries.